So for those who are trying to learn along with me about the whole creating crypto and becoming financially sovereign and being your own bank, I've learned an immense amount that I haven't been sharing really yet because I'm still kind of digesting it. I'm trying to figure my response, and I learned a lot. This has been an amazing experience, And okay, so I want to be frank about how much this has cost me. Um, so basically, this is all done in the Solana, Solana ecosystem, which is Solana is a crypto coin. And everything that I created these coins on, I have actually a new coin I'm coming out with. I expect to finance it probably by the end of this month, and I'm going to create it by the end of the month, and it's going to be I think I'm going to create a trillion of these coins. I know that seems kind of ridiculous, but this is a global. This idea I have is global, and I'm really excited about it. And oh my gosh, I had this incredible download, and I had to do like immediate research. It was one of these things where I got shown something, and I did the research immediately. And this relates to a dear friend, like a brother to me, who is from Finland, and it's kind of it was inspired by him. And I kind of excited to bring it. I'm going to bring it because it kind of hopefully will it'll assist him in his transition into becoming a he's working currently to creating his own sovereign banking system. And so this is kind of was inspired by him, and it's going to hopefully amazingly bless the life of his entire family. Everybody that is connected to him should benefit from it. And so I'm super excited because it was inspired by somebody else. And it was, I was looking for solutions, and I was divinely inspired, I believe, to follow this. And I believe it's not only going to benefit him, but it'll benefit me. The intention wasn't to benefit me, but I felt that I was supposed to be a part of it. So I'm leaving it to whatever. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I want to speak. This is actually the third coin that I created down here. This is the third coin, and this is my sovereign banking system. And I'm not honestly sure it's going to survive, but that's why I'm trying to share it. I'm not sure. I mean, I've learned a lot, and I was intended to learn a lot. And the first three crypto coins I created were I had an allotted amount, which was about $500. It took me about 500 USD. I spent $500 USD on Solana, and I bought that much. And I've been sitting on it, honestly, for over a month. And then I had been sitting on it for over a month when I finally decided to make the move. I was, I'd be honest, I was a little bit concerned about it, how to go about it, something I'm new to, and yet it's something I was inspired and kind of shown that I was supposed to do this. And so I've had the idea since like last October, the end of October, beginning of November, and I've been sitting on it ever since, which is kind of a disappointment, but it's part of where I've been and how I've learned and how I've grown. So I'm not going to be annoyed by that. So what I want to show you is I've learned a lot about the whole rug pull. I've learned a lot about rug pulling, about what these over here. These are bundled wallets. So this is and I'll share a video in the comment section below this video, and it'll show you the idea of what a bundle is or what a sniper is. And I've been looking at over here. I saw this bundler. I didn't understand this. The bundler owns 98% of my coin, and it's in a positive 98%. The sniper, I'm still learning about the sniper, but I learned about the bundler because it's more important. So apparently a bundler owns about 98% of my coin. And the sniper had originally owned about 8%, I think, or 9%. And the sniper owns about 1.89%. Okay, now I've made some purchases today. I had to think about it, and I thought it through and decided to this is a learning thing. So I have funding up here. This is what's left of all the Solana. Of the $500 worth of Solana I have purchased, I have half of a Solana left, which is about $40, $45 or so. So from the $500, I've created 3 coin, and I'm not to go through liquidity yet on the next 2. The first 2 that I created, I'm not going through liquidity yet until I learn what I can learn from this. And when I've determined that I've learned enough and I'm trying to create an actual plan. Okay, what am I going to do when I create liquidity on the next coin? How am I going to be prepared for what's going to happen? Because there's a thing that happens by people like these bundlers. These bundlers they're pirates, and I'm not setting light darkness on them. They do this because that's what they do. And what they do is they try and capture. When a new coin comes out at the very beginning over here, when this first happened, this was a week ago. This is Sunday. I'm doing this, and this is the bundler and the sniper. What they did was, as soon as I'm busy creating the coin. When you're busy doing the liquidity, you're busy. You're involved in doing things, and kind of filling out all the requirements for the coin. And while you're doing that, these people they're doing this to make a living. They do this to make money, and doesn't really matter. We have to accept that that's part of the whole thing. If you're going to be involved, there's going to be bundlers and snipers, and they're basically what they want to do is they want to own as much as they can for as little as they can. They want to own your coin. They want to own it and hold it, and then they kind of hold it as a ransom. They hold your coin as ransom, and they basically wait for people to show up and say, oh, I think I'll buy this. And then when you show up and you think you want to buy this, then they're going to profit from you. And so this guy, you can see this bundler, he owns 98% of my coin. And the way I found this out, it took me a while because I'm new to this, right? Just like you, I'm new to this. So I kind of started looking. This is where all the different transactions have happened. And the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 transaction was the bundler. Now I'm trying to figure out what it is that they do, because the first purchase was only 744 coin, and this is the price. This is what it cost him or her in Solana, and this is the wallet, and this is who did it's a bundler. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna show a video at the end of help you understand what a bundler is. And I'm still doing research on the sniper, and soon enough I will show you more about the sniper as I learn it. So here at the was it 6, 2, 4, 6 purchase, this was 10 billion. There were 10 billion of these coins created, and this bundler, because I kept 1 billion for myself, and I just held on to it, and that was just an experiment. When I purchased, I decided to do this. I was going to keep, I went back and forth trying to figure out how many to hold, because it's a type of thing where if you hold it all, they're not going to be interested. Or if you hold a majority, they think you're going to try and rob them. They don't want to lose money, right? So they would like you to give up most of it for sale. And the way you make it available and safe is by you burn this liquidity. You do the liquidity pool, and then you burn it after you put it up for sale. It means that it's 100% available for sale. There's nobody else who's going to argue over I think I'm saying this right. Over ownership. By the way, I'm not an expert on this. I'm just learning this. I'm doing this as a financial experiment, and I'm sharing this with you. Okay, so what this guy did is he bought. I don't understand some of this, so there's still questions that need to be resolved, and maybe some of you very wise people out there who are maybe kind of laughing about this. I think you probably went through this sometime in your evolution, and I'm going through it now, and you get to laugh at me because people probably laughed at you. Okay, so the bundler purchased 8.91 billion. So what I don't get is if there's only 10 billion available, and I held 1 billion, he basically bought all that was available, and he paid the price that I had asked at the creation of all this was 0.01 right here. Solana, I think per coin is I valued it at 0.01. I think that's that's the way I understood it. Okay, so this guy bought everything that was available. Now, this is what I don't understand. Because as I go through this list of transactions, you can see that the sniper, he also bought the sniper. He also bought 8 billion. And he paid the price that I had initially valued it at, 0.01 Solana. Okay, so what these dudes did, or ladies did, is they bought it all up. They bought it all up, and they're because they're the first, right? And the price was so reasonable, they said, "Well, I'm buying it all," and that's what this first. There was a green candle initially. I remember when I started this. I remember there was a green candle at first, and it went down immediately. I may have misunderstood that because this shows the volume, and this is a really high volume. At 1.37K was the volume. That's how many people purchased, I think, or how many purchases. So there's a lot of people waiting. They're waiting in the wings for some greenback like me, someone wet behind the ears to show up and create a coin. And it's like this feeding frenzy of fish in the ocean going after the food, right? Okay, so this is really great information, and then the question is how to digest it, because the value, I heard the market cap on this went as high as over 100,000 market cap, over 100,000 I think market cap, which is quite a bit for a nobody. And then what they so this is somebody who bundled together a lot of his wallet. Like they have to have like 20 wallets to create a bundle, right? So they created the bundle, and this is basically like they have 20 wallets connected in this bundle. And so when they purchase, they basically spread it out through all these different wallets. And that's basically what a bundler is. Now the sniper, I think it's similar, but the sniper is obviously, the intention is to do a rug pull. So we saw that this guy, the bundle, they basically bought all the available, and then what their plan is to sit up there and wait for people, all these other people who are buying, to come along and want to buy. And what they plan on doing is profiting. They're profiting by selling. So their hope is to get when other people buy, their hope is to raise the value and capture the difference, right? So the sniper bought 8 billion, and I don't understand how that was possible. Maybe that was what he hoped to buy, or she hoped to buy, and this is something I'm still doing research on, and I'll share it with you, of course. So since then, this was a week ago, 8 days. This was 8 days, you can see, and since then, I have made, what have I made? I think I made made 8 purchases. 8 purchases. And And all the money I've spent on this research, including 2 other coins, has been $500 US. And so, because this is a new coin that doesn't hold much equity, it is reasonable, right, to buy $1 billion. So now at this current stage, I've made I think 8 purchases. Is that correct? 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Some of the times if you make a large purchase, like I think I may have bought like $1 billion, and you don't necessarily get it all. And that's part of what I learned through this whole thing, is when you're doing a market buy in one of these sites, you're doing a market buy, which means whatever the market will yield. You're saying, I want to buy it, and then the sellers all line up and fill your order. And so the price will grow. The price, a lot of times you'll make a buy, and you'll capture a certain amount of purchases, and you will and you may not get your entire order. In other words, if I try to buy $1 billion of these coin, I may not get $1 billion, but it'll fill it until basically people decide they don't want to sell anymore. And then and so I may do 1 buy, and it may become 3. In fact, I think that happened back here in a previous buy, where I bought a large amount and they didn't fulfill in the first one. It was actually more like 3. And so what I'm learning is when you do a market buy, I've known this already, but this particular site this is Phantom. On this particular site, you can't do what's called a limit order. And a limit order is basically saying that you want to sell or you want to buy, but you want to buy at a specific price, instead of saying that you want to buy at whatever the market will bear, whatever the market. In other words, the price that you end up paying may not be at the lowest price, because the price is going to go up as you're buying. And so therefore you can see that the purchases will go up in value. This was 1 purchase. No, it wasn't. This was 3 purchases. And I think this was for 5. I'm trying to remember what my purchase was. This one here, I think, was for $1 billion. I tried to buy $1 billion, and they only gave me 487 million. And then this one was for 100 million. This was for 100 million, and they only sold me 39.7 million. And this one, the 4th one, was also 100 million, and they only gave me 71.66 million. Okay, so what that did, my goal was to own 3 billion of my own coin. Now, what I'm trying to do through this practice, and from a point of kind of ignorance, is I'm trying to get to own eventually most of my coin. I want to kind of buy this bundler out. I want to buy the sniper out. And it's a game to try and, my game is to try and keep the price down so it doesn't cost me a whole lot of money to basically own my bank. And then my plan is to basically, when I move money in here, I'll be selling to myself. I'll sell from one account to another and basically move money in here without much competition is my goal. And I'll see if that works. See what type of problems I run into, and I'll share what I learn along the way. Okay, it's kind of a crazy all over the place, but I wanted everyone to see where I was. Am I happy with what I am very happy with what I've learned, and I'm still growing from it. And my plan is that by the time I get to this new coin that I've checked it out, it's available. I've got an entire business plan behind it that I plan on doing. Amazing, beneficial things it's an international thing where I want to do help countries and communities with a certain thing, and I'll define that later. And I'm very excited about it as a philanthropy project for this planet. And I'm excited that through these first 3 coins that I've created, the second 2 that I'm going to do are for the Dirkishness Foundation. And so those 2, this one actually is 2. This is kind of like my private bank, but it will pretty much be put into the Dirkishness Fund or Trust and the Dirkishness Foundation. And what I'm trying to do is get to a point where all the different inventions, innovations, and projects that I do around the globe are financed by these coin and those who invest in these coin. That's my goal. And the same thing with the 4th coin that I've come up with. It'll be a philanthropy project globally that will I'll try and inspire people to invest in it, and then the profit that we will all make from that will well, at least my portion of it, of what I hold, will be put into these philanthropy projects globally. And I'm very excited about that. That's basically what I plan on doing going forward, is creating projects of philanthropy. And I'm getting everybody excited in investing in what I'm doing to try and end homelessness, to try and reduce suffering, trying to teach sovereignty, trying to teach people how to get outside of the matrix, teaching people how to stop being slaves and to educate themselves to a point where they understand the system legally and otherwise. Anyway, blessings to you all. I hope this helps somebody. And amazing if you made it to the end of this. Sorry, kind of maybe boring to some people.